Welcome to the Isle of Souls. This is the home of my ultimate Iron Man. I'm trapped here and I'm on a mission to collect the best in slot gear that's available on the island. I'll need to gain levels, take on some serious grinds and risk it all to accomplish my goal. We're really getting to know the island now and we're getting ready to unlock some game-changing upgrades. Welcome to Soul Trapped. Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of Soul Trapped, the series where my ultimate Iron Man is trapped on the Isle of Souls. So last time we unlocked the ectoplasmator and by extension an AFK prayer training method. So we're actually unfortunately starting this episode on a bit of a sour note. After unlocking the ectoplasmator, I decided might as well start doing a little bit of prayer training on my tablet while I do other things during the day. As well as giving us prayer experience, the Forgotten Souls drop us a few items that can be alched. And I figured although we only have low alchemy right now, the experience that we can get by alching the random items that we get dropped can be pretty helpful. And it's going to slowly boost our magic level up. So there I was, alching away, having a good time, and I made a bit of a tragic mistake. I low out my rune scimitar. I think I overreacted a little bit during the moment, as it's not really that big of a deal because we can just go and get another one. The reason I was so devastated though is that we got it on like 3 or 4 KC. We were super lucky with that rune skim, and I just know that when we go back and try and get another one, we're going to go so dry, and it is going to delay the actual grinds that I would like to do. So I'm going to get back to work staff bashing these Forgotten Souls until we've got maybe 1,000 casts of Firestrike, and then we're going to go back to the Fire Giant and hope that we can get lucky again and regain that rune skim. Alright, so we've staff bashed our way to about 1,000 Firestrike casts, so I'm going to head over to the Fire Giant and just see if we can't get that rune skim back. I'm also continuing to alch a lot of the items that we get just because it's a little bit of magic XP that we can use. One thing I'm going to do right now though is I'm going to set the alchemy warning to just below the value that you get when you alch a rune scimitar, because I really don't want that to happen again. Okay, here we are. So the last rune skim that we got took somewhere like 3 or maybe 5 kills. Let's see if we can get that lucky again. Well, that's the first kill and no rune skim. And we did actually just get level 38 magic though, so this grind is gonna benefit the account even if it does take quite a long time. Well, there we have 40 magic. Now, we don't have a rune skim yet, but this level is pretty huge for the account. We can teleport to our player-owned house, and that means we can start building rooms and items that are gonna benefit the account quite a lot. A good example of this is the tool storage area, which will mean that we no longer have to carry around a saw all the time, so that's an entire inventory slot completely freed up. We can also build the menagerie so that if we somehow end up with the Soul Wars pet, we can store it in there and we won't have to worry about it ever getting lost. There's just so much that we can do with it. It really is an incredible upgrade. We can also really easily train ourselves up to level 5 and then finally get that spinning wheel unlocked as well, which is going to unlock the range skill for us because we're going to be able to make ourselves a bow, which is going to let us start training. So it's come from a bit of a disaster, but overall I'm still pretty happy with our account. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to get that rune scimitar back, and we've just unlocked a crazy amount of content. Well, I did not expect to run out of air runes before I ran out of mind runes. That is surprising to me. I would really like to get to 43 magic so that we can unlock the Superheat spell, because that's going to unlock smithing, which again is another huge improvement to the account. So I think I'm just going to cast low alchemy on all of these vials of water that I've been collecting. We're not going to get much cash for it, but I don't really care about GP. I'd much rather just get that skill to 43 as quick as we can. And there we go, that is 43 magic, which unlocks a Superheat item, and that changes so much for this account. So now that we can cast Superheat, what we're going to do is grab ourselves a pickaxe from the crumbling tower and then start training smithing. All right, here we are. So let's settle in for a little bit of smithing. There we go, that's a full inventory. So let's cast Superheat item then. There it is. A bronze bar made totally from scratch on the Isle of Souls. So let's keep going. We're going to get a few more ores and try and fill our entire inventory with these bars, and then we're going to go and smith them into actual items. Another day of AFKing at the Forgotten Souls. We have got 43 prayer now, which is huge. We can now protect from melee, which is awesome. We also reached 70 strength, so we're going to be training the attack up a little bit more now, and we've got some runes. So let's go back to the Fire Giant and try for another rune skim. Well, we didn't get it that time, never lucky. Anyway, let's finish off this smithing level. And there we go, that's level 15 smithing. So we can now smelt iron ore and make iron daggers. It's the smelting of iron ore that is most important though. So let's grab ourselves a little bit of iron ore and then make an iron bar. Perfect. So now, at long last, we can actually fix the pottery wheel. So as well as the iron bar, we're going to need 5 planks and a ball of wool. The best place for us to get a ball of wool is going to be from the Forgotten Souls because they do drop them. So that's exactly where we're going to go right now. There we go. There is a ball of wool. Let's go and grab some planks. Okay, so before we actually get those planks, we also need some soft clay, and I'm not sure whether or not I can use the water source here on the map without a bucket, because I'm pretty sure it's a well, so we probably are going to need a bucket to use it. Maybe even some rope as well. Nothing interesting happens. Okay, now I know that we can get a bucket from imps, so we're going to go and kill a few of those. I think this is also going to be quite a good opportunity to start training range. I know I don't have any range gear, but I do have just over 400 bronze knives that I made while I was training my smithing up to level 15. So we're going to wield them and just start chucking them at the imps. No bucket yet, but we did get a blue wizard hat. I mean, it's the exact same stats as the black wizard hat, but I just fancy a change, you know? We're going to go with the blue one. Goodbye, trusty black wizard hat. We're keeping the blue one now. Sometimes it's nice just to have a little bit of a change, you know? And there we go, we've got the bucket. Technically, it's a bucket of water, so that actually saves us a step. We don't even need to go and fill it up. So let's just make ourselves some soft clay. Now we can go and grab some of those planks. So hopefully, when we click on this here, we can finally repair the broken potter's wheel. So let's just do it. That feels so good. We got some construction XP, we're now level 3. And we can build a clay fireplace, which is also a really good thing for us. So with that, we have just unlocked the crafting skill. If we just go back and get ourselves a little bit more clay and turn that into soft clay, we can make unfired bowls, unfired pots, things like that on that potter's wheel, and that's going to be a source of XP for crafting. I really don't think there's any good reason to train crafting on the island, but it is at least an option that we've got if any new information reveals itself that would mean that training crafting would benefit us. Another reason why fixing this potter's wheel is pretty important to us is that it's now brought us up to level 3 construction, which means that we can train it using soft clay. So if we cast the teleport to house spell, we can now finally start training this skill. Now I know that this is sort of like leaving the island because it is an instance area that isn't a part of the rest of Gielinor or Zet or any kind of real landmass in RuneScape. I'm not going to count this as us actually leaving the island. We'll think about it in a similar way to how we do regarding death piles. It's a necessary part of the game, which we can't really avoid if we want to access the content. Now, I want to really quickly just bring our construction level up to 5, because that way we can actually go ahead and fix the spinning wheel up on the north of the island. I think that the main problem we are going to encounter when training construction is the minigame teleport timer. As we aren't allowed to run around in the actual mainland of Gielinor to find another teleport back to the Isle of Souls, we're going to be limited to doing one trip every 20 minutes into the house, and that is going to seriously slow things down. Alright then, here we go, let's build this fireplace and get that construction level. There it is, level 5, so we can now fix the spinning wheel. We can also build a kitchen, which is pretty cool, and I'm actually going to go and get that built right now while we've got a little bit of a cash stack. There we go, we're expanding already. Fantastic. I decided that also I want to build this bookcase just to make things look a little bit nicer. You can also use it to get some books, which might be useful at some point. Probably not though, but it's just a nice thing to have. Ah, here we go. We can have the collection log. Nothing, 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 nothing. Ah, we can see our Soul Wars uniques. Cool. I guess that is a useful thing we can get out of the bookcase. Well, here we are at the spinning wheel, and we're just about to get this fixed. Perfect, and that's brought us up to level 7 construction, which unlocks a few more things in the house. And we can now collect flax and turn it into bowstrings, meaning that we can create ourselves short bows, long bows. And if we ever do need to get ourselves a bit more of a cash stack, we can move on to maple and yew and just start alching them for money. So now that we've unlocked the majority of the content on the island, it's time to start grinding for some of those upgrades I mentioned last episode. It's time to start grinding for some of them best in slot items. Now, if you remember at the end of the last episode, I said that we were going to start grinding out the chest in the dungeon. There's a lot of cool things inside here that can really benefit the account, and I definitely do want to start thieving this as soon as possible. The thing is, with our level 28 thieving, we only just have the requirements to unlock it, which means that our chances are pretty low. So it definitely is going to be quite a grind to raise our thieving level on this chest alone, and if you fail the lockpick, there's a chance that it will just teleport you right back outside the cave. But it will definitely be worth it. So while we're in the cave, I'm just going to have a go real quick and see how we do. But before we start a long ass grind on this thing, I have another goal that I want to go for, because my priorities have shifted ever so slightly since losing the rune skin. So let's just see what happens when we try and pick lock. Fail, 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 and there we go, we've been teleported outside. So never mind, we'll have another go at that later. So before I tell you what we're going to be grinding for a little while now, I just want to make a couple of updates to the best in slot gear that we're going to be going for on the account. Thanks to a few helpful comments that we got on the last video, the best in slot boots are actually snakeskin boots, as those are dropped by Implings. We can also get spiky red D-hide van braces for the glove slot, which will be much better than the leather gloves. Those are also dropped by Implings. And the best ring that we can get, instead of a ring of recoil, is actually a ring of life. And these things are all dropped by Implings, and it's really my fault that I didn't know about them. My Impling knowledge pretty much just sucks. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm predicting that the grind for my second rune skin is going to take quite a long time. And so for that, we are going to need quite a lot of runes. Now, I have been grinding out Forgotten Souls during my downtime, AFKing them to get myself maybe 500 to 600 casts every day of Firestrike, but that's just not really going to cut it. So I think that the best thing that we can really do right now is grind out some Soul Wars Zeal. The reason for that is that you can get so many death runes from Spoils of War that it's going to give us a really nice stack, which is going to extend the amount of time we can spend maging fire giants. I also want to play Soul Wars because I've got a little bit of a goal for myself. I've been having a look at the UIM high scores for Soul Wars Zeal. Right now, rank 25 has 3,524 zeal, so I'm going to aim to grab myself 4,000 zeal, and that'll put us onto the front page. We can then spend all of that zeal and hopefully get ourselves a nice ass stack of death runes. So we're just waiting for the game to begin, and a few people have recognized the account, so big shout out to you guys, much appreciated. Mob only to Max, you asked for a shout out, so who am I to refuse? Let's go. Okay, so we've done a few games now, and I've opened up a few Spoils of War, and we haven't really got any good loot, but we've got 2 more that we can open now, so let's open them up. Okay, noted food is good. Noted food is good. Yes! Rune plate legs. Fuck yes. That's the best in slot right there. Badoom. And we got ourselves a nice little alchable rune full helm. Hell yes. That's excellent. That's so good. So anyway, now that I've actually got some decent armor, I figure it's definitely time for us to go back to the fire giants, because we can realistically just staff bash them and then just run back and forth for food, and we should get a decent amount of kills per trip, so it actually makes sense for us to try and just sit there and grind out that rune skin. And I think someone's trying to mock me here. Well, we've now actually killed 128 fire giants, and we don't have what we're looking for just yet. We're going to keep going though, we're going to brute force it, and then we can finally get back to playing the game. And there it is, finally. We are done with the fire giants. Let's get out of here and hopefully never return. My god, I'm so happy that we've got this back right now. I promise I'll never low alch you again, baby. Okay, let's get this bad boy on. Oh, hell yes. You know, it feels even better the second time round because we didn't get spoon-fed that one at all. We actually killed a total of 272 fire giants for that. So that's more than double the drop rate. And we were also only able to get between 3 and 5 kills per trip. So overall, that grind took about 10 hours. Which in the grand scheme of RuneScape grinds is not that bad, but for an item that I already had before and lost in a stupid way, did feel like quite a long time. So very happy right now. And we just got level 45 prayer coming in from the big bones that we got from those fire giants. That means we can now use Mystic Might, which is basically the last useful prayer that we have on the account. I mean, Smite would probably be quite useful in Soul Wars for while we're doing PvP, but the prayer book is basically full. So, I learned a valuable lesson today. Be careful when using alchemy. Even though I've had to spend time regaining an item, we've still made some solid progress on the account this episode. We now have 2 of the best in slot items, the Rune Scimitar and the Rune Plate Legs. I can't wait to get grinding for more upgrades, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing next episode. We're still going for front page UIM Zeal, and we're going to be getting into that chest as well. Anyway, this is where I'm going to end the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.